I'll invite you to join me for a breath. And one more. Welcome to Astrology for the People. We have a bit of a technology malfunction, so I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to edit this. So I'm coming straight to you today, raw from the mountain. You might be able to hear my little boy in the background. He's playing with his dad up near the dam. Welcome to another view of our beautiful space here. And yeah, I'm going to dive straight in for you. We're coming into our solar month in Scorpio. We've got this full moon in Taurus on Tuesday, the 27th of October at 10:06 p.m. Queensland time, 11:06 daylight savings time. And yeah, so the intensity hasn't really let up for the last few months now, and it's quite full on, and we're coming into a month now that's really highly charged, but it's a heavier intensity. You know, it's not a fiery month, but yeah, it's, you know, Scorpio is initiation. Scorpio is the underworld. It can be a really fun and transformative time if you're committed to going deep. If you're trying to still avoid and not face yourself, you're not going to be having a lot of fun this month. So the good thing is we have a choice moment by moment, and I really encourage you to drop into yourself this month, drop into an awareness of where you're at emotionally. What we're seeing is a little group of planets over in Virgo, which has created a little bit of an increased ambient stress level. You know, Virgo can be quite critical and quite perfectionistic, and then, you know, we lay on top of that kind of ambient stress that's been going on for people lately, this trine between Pluto and Jupiter, which can be a little bit obsessive, a little bit compulsive, a little bit intense. And then we lay on top of that an opposition between Uranus and Black Moon Lilith, as well as an opposition between Venus and Chiron. With Uranus and Lilith in particular, it's like, let's just send a lightning bolt down through our already slightly stressed out systems. And you know, this is happening now. Even as I speak this, even as you're listening to this, this will be influencing what's happening in the collective unconscious, what's happening in the energy field of the earth. So it's a high energy time in the sense of the energy that is coming through for us, and where we're getting moved and how we're being transformed is intense. And what we're really finding is that even though, you know, the mainstream media and most people in day-to-day life are still managing to maintain somewhat of a front of everything's normal, everything's okay, everyone is feeling this in one way or another. And it is an intense time. We're seeing more people speaking out about their mental illnesses now. We're seeing a massive spike in panic disorders, and we're really finding that with this energy at the moment as well. More and more people I'm coming across are saying, I had a panic attack, it's never happened to me before. And yeah, you know, I'm not surprised with the way that the energy is right now. I'm working with an intensity of energy that I've never had to work with before. And we're finding globally that there's an intensity of cosmic energy coming in that no one on Earth is even close to used to. This is something that I feel like we can forget. And I don't touch on, you know, necessarily in these forecasts that much because it's just such a given now, and it, you know, is all the time. But we're moving at a massively accelerated pace to what our bodies, our energy systems, to what we're used to as humanity. We are now experiencing emotionally in the course of a day what we may have a few years ago experienced over the course of a month, what we might have a century or 2 centuries ago experienced over the course of a year. So we have to remember that our bodies are going through this, and it's not surprising that it gets really overwhelming sometimes. And it's going to be easy this next month to get overwhelmed by the intensity of what's coming through for us. So the first thing that I wanted to lay on the table for you today was some tools that we can use to move this energy through our bodies. And that's something that I've been finding I really, really need to do regularly, multiple times a day, I'm talking. And you know, it only takes a couple of minutes max to just support the body to step into this flow state whereby everything's not kind of getting chogged up. And because we've been taught to hold on, keep ourselves together, that's saying I really want to kick out of our vocabulary, because when we're trying to keep ourselves together, what we really need to be doing is letting go. And that's, you know, that's a massive theme this month, is it's like let go or be dragged. And everyone has a choice, but God, I really suggest letting go. Hey, like being dragged is not fun. And we think that we're going to avoid suffering. If we go into avoidance, we go into escapism, we avoid the confrontation. But we're not actually going to avoid suffering. We're going to make it a lot worse for ourselves than if we were able to just face everything and rise. And I wrote that down in my notes. I know it's FEAR for fear. It's like face everything and rise. And I really encourage you to give a lot of your energy to doing that this month. And these are some tools that you can use. So, I'm getting quite animated. Again, this high flow of energy. So, the one thing that I'm defaulting to at the moment is the breath. Because it's always there, it's easy to do, you can do it anywhere. And I really encourage you, you know, use your breath to support this energy to move through your body. So even if it's just as simple as just knocked my water over, which actually reminds me of the next thing. Water. We really, really need it right now. Scorpio is a water sign. It's not the only reason. We need water all the time, regardless of what sign we're in. And kookaburras seem to think that's funny. Regardless of what sign we're in, obviously we need lots of water, but particularly now, if you imagine trying to run a really high voltage of energy through a light bulb, how much the resistance is going to depend on how bright it burns, and essentially how much heat is created as a byproduct of that energy running through. Water conducts energy, water conducts electricity. If we don't have enough water in our bodies, that cosmic energy is going to hit us and it's going to be frying us because of the resistance that it's coming up against. So if we drink a lot of water, it's really going to help this energy to move through. Feet on the earth is another one, really supporting the energy to move through. Exercise, sound. I'm finding sound really helpful at the moment as well, and I've been practicing what's called non-violent screaming. So if I start to feel really emotionally overwhelmed, say my little boy's like at me and wanting something, and I'm trying to process what I'm feeling, and it's getting into a really kind of, I'm starting to get stressed, and so he's feeding off that, and my partner's not home, and it's like, oh, I really just need a moment to feel. What I'm actually doing is, rather than saying you this or you that, or, you know, Oren, like give me rah, and making it about him, I'm coming back into myself, making it about me, but being really authentic in my expression. So I'll say, Oren, Mum really needs to roar. Mum's feeling really cranky. She's going to go into the room and roar now. And he looks at me kind of interested. Go over to the room and go, roar! And move it. Keep it moving. Because when we're going to get overwhelmed is when we're trying to hold it in. So really encouraging you to draw on some of those tools this month, because it's going to be an intense month. It can also be a really powerful month. And what I really encourage you to do is, while we're crawling through this tunnel of Scorpio, rather than going, get me out of here, and wasting all of this energy freaking out in our claustrophobic state, I'm going to bring myself back down so I'm not charging on you too much. Rather than, freaking out in our claustrophobic state, looking forward, focusing in, breathing out. Keep on plodding. One foot in front of the other. Keep on plodding. We've got this. We've chosen the most incredible time to be alive. This is the most enormous gift. It's also some of the greatest challenges that we've faced as far as working with an intangible energy. So, you know, for some of us, that's getting reflected in our lives. For some of us, we're coming up against confrontations, particularly with other people in Scorpio. But for others of us, there's not that much going on the outside, and we're just being asked to work with it on the inside. And that's what starts to happen when you stop projecting. So when you stop needing the world to show you the dynamics that you're playing out, you'll start working them with them more on an intangible level, and life can look relatively normal. But yeah, there's an unfolding that's always taking place that's quite intense in the inner world. So I'm going to leave it there for you today. I don't want to go on too much. I feel like to keep it simple this month and to keep it focused is going to be the most productive for us. There's stacks of other stuff going on, but this is the essence of it. I also really encourage you to, if you're in a sexual relationship at the moment, invest a little bit of time in how you could deepen that. If your partner's willing, explore some tantra, explore some conscious breathing together, explore some really authentic communication, because there's a really huge capacity to drop in deeper there. And that's another really powerful way to move energy with someone that we love. So yeah, hang in there, beautiful people. I'm here if there's anything you need. Women's Temple Nights next is in Ipswich on the 31st. And that's at 7:30 p.m. So you can find out more about that on the website. I'll be available for sessions beforehand in Ipswich on the Saturday afternoon, the 31st. And then I don't have another Brisbane date yet, but I'm looking at either the week or the fortnight after. So if you want to get in early for that, reach out to me. Also available for Skype and phone, of course. I love you so much. Come out and see me on the mountain if you want. It's beautiful out here. It's only an hour and a little out of Brisbane. Yeah, maybe I'll see you soon. And yeah, that's all for today.